Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. You might be thinking, hey Jordan, you're not in your living room. No, I'm finally in my beauty room. So welcome everyone to my beauty room. Welcome to the new part of my house. So a couple things you might see. I have my Thriller Thursday paint job. I have some flowers, candles, lights. This is my Ben Wallace ball. I've had it since I was probably in grade 4. I'm obsessed with Ben Wallace. He's my favorite basketball player. Loved him, and just like he was the reason why I got into basketball, was because of that man right there. So yeah, welcome. I'm finally here. I've been talking about it for months and months, and I finally got here. If you notice with my face, I'm slowly breaking out, which you know what that means, is probably coming up to my favorite time of the month. So yeah, welcome everyone. I'm super excited to finally be in my beauty room, and I'm excited for all you guys to experience my beauty room with me too. I'm hoping, I do have a couple backdrops, and I'm hoping to get some of the backdrops up when I'll be filming, and probably on Tuesdays I'll have backdrops, and then on Thriller Thursdays I'll have just my regular back. I'm super excited to be here, and thank you guys for tuning in again. Today we got a kind of a different story, so I guess I should introduce myself and get you onto my page before I do anything. So if you're new here, my name is Jocelyn MacLean, and I talk about true crimes who have happened here in Canada every day with you, every Tuesday and Thursday. So come and subscribe, check me out. I want to thank the 83 people who have subscribed to my channel. You guys are amazing, and thank you for sticking with me throughout this whole experience. It's been great. It's been exciting. I really enjoyed it. So I just want to thank everyone for coming out and watching. Again, if you can, like and subscribe. I'll put my socials down below, and also if you're wondering what I put on my face at any time of the video, make sure you check down below, because I do put what I put on my face down below so that you guys can know, so it's not a hidden secret, not like any of my makeup's a hidden secret. So let's get into the story. So this story was the first ever Canadian to be charged with manslaughter or murder due to the fact that they gave someone a sexually transmitted disease and it killed them. This was the very, very first case. So it's a little different, a little weird. Disclaimer, if you have any type of ish or nick about any of the stuff that I'll be talking about, it's a more shorter type of case, then you don't have to listen. You can turn this off and not watch this time. I know a lot of people have different type of problems with things and they don't like to listen about it, but I'm excited for this case because it's the first of its kind that ever happened in Canada. I haven't heard too many other stories like this, so it's very, very exciting. So let's get right into this. Let's get right into our next Thriller Thursday. So Joseph Aziga, you guys can, I'll put it right here so you guys can all make fun of the way I say it, but that is how it's spelled. So he was born in 1956, and he is a Uganda-born Canadian man residing in Hamilton, Ontario. He is most notable or famously known as the first person to be charged and convicted with first-degree murder in Canada for spreading HIV after 2 women that he had unprotected sex with died due to this factor. So I think the reason why he was charged the reason why he was charged with this case was because he did not disclaim to these women that he was carrying the HIV virus when he had unprotected sex with them. So that is a huge no-no, right? Like, I think for most people, women, men, whatever, one of the biggest fears is to get a sexually transmitted disease. I know, especially like going to university and stuff, that's scary, right? Like, you don't know, not knowing and stuff is scary. Not knowing what type of disease you're carrying or what is going on is very, very scary. So I think that this is the reason why this became a very notable case, because it was also in the 1990s where they were just becoming like normalizing AIDS and everything. So this is why everything became pretty like, well, he got really convicted and stuff because AIDS just started becoming a thing. Sharing partners, I know the 60s was like pretty big into like sexual experience, trying new things. So it was kind of around that area. So that's the reason why this became such a crazy and notable case. So a little background to this story about Canada and everything is Johnson was a former staffy in the Ontario Ministry of the Attorney General, according to CBC News. He was diagnosed with HIV around 1996. This is when he found out that he had the disease. I'm not 100% familiar with HIV, so I don't really know. I know it can be controlled with pills and things like that, but I'm not 100% sure how easy it is to get infected with the disease if somebody is not trying to control it or does not let you know you have it. So he had unprotected sex with 11 women without telling them that he was HIV positive. And due to this, 7 of the women that he had unprotected sex with later tested positive for HIV. So I feel like that would be devastating if that was me, not knowing and then testing positive and then finding out that this guy knew the whole entire time that he had HIV and he never disclosed that information, which is a life-threatening disease. So 2 of those women who tested for HIV died of complications due to AIDS. So this is when everything kind of like hit the fan. Everything hit the fan, and in December 2003 and in May in 2004 is when both these women just died. I was going to say decided to die, like they had the choice of dying. So yeah, to me, not disclosing that you have something like that and having that many unprotected sex with women, first of all, come on, ladies. I'm not blaming the ladies. I'm not shining them, but like, oh my God, I'm knocking everything down. Unprotected sex with this guy, and hopefully you knew him for quite a while, you know, like just, I don't know. I always wonder about that. Like, do you pick this guy up from the bar, drunk one night, not even thinking, which is totally understandable, or is this like a case of they were actually in a committed relationship? It doesn't really state that, but like, just, you know, raw dogging this dude. Don't really know about that. So several Canadian courts have ruled that the person who is not informed that the individual has HIV cannot truly give consent to having sex unless they actually know the information about the individual that they are having intercourse with, that they have HIV. So since he gave no consent due to this, they were unable to give consent, saying that it was okay for him to have sex with them. As consequence of the death of the women is automatically considered to be murder because he never disclosed to them that he was actually HIV positive. So due to this factor, he was convicted of first degree murder instead of a less offense manslaughter, due to the fact that they truly didn't know, so then they truly couldn't give consent. Because who knows, it could have been a completely different story if he would have told them that he was HIV positive. I don't know. I know one of the stories said that the woman she said that she wouldn't have had sex with him if she knew that this individual was carrying this disease, because it's a life-threatening disease and it can put harm to her life. Unfortunately, back then with the stigma, even though it was like 2004, 2003, there was still a huge stigma when it came to sexually transmitted diseases and everything, like saying that only gay people could get it or all that, which isn't the case and isn't true. A lot of people can have it and live regular lives and have HIV and AIDS and be successful. It's just, I find it's just the stigma in the world today, and no matter what you do to get rid of that stigma, it's probably always going to be there, which is like the unfortunate part. So Johnson was arrested in August 2003, and of November 16, I always say 19, I don't know why, because of my dyslexia, of August 16, 2005, Justice Norman Bate of Hamilton ruled that there was significant evidence for him to be trialed due to all the evidence that they had, all the facts that they had, what was going on in Johnson's life, that they said that, yeah, there's probably evidence here that he should go on trial. So the initial trial date was set for May 2007. 2007. And then was set back and set back and set back. So it was finally set for May 2008. And then they didn't have it then either. So then they decided that they were going to have it for October 6, 2008. So it just kept stepping back, stepping back, stepping back. If you know anything about the justice system here in Canada, sometimes that happens. Sometimes there's just, it doesn't matter when the trial date is. It just, oh, we're going to have an adjournment to this date. Oh, we're going to have adjournment to this date. Oh, we're going to have adjournment to this date. It's pretty annoying. But if you do the crime, you know, you got to get used to that, right? Like, you don't get what you want all the time if you decide to be a criminal. So the decision to try Johnson was heavily criticized by certain parties and activists in the community due to the fact that he was being tried for having HIV. Even though that wasn't 100% the fact, he wasn't being tried for having HIV. That is not what he was being tried for. He was being tried for giving HIV to women who did not know that he had it. So he was criticized by Richard Elliott, was one of the big ones, who was the director of Canada's HIV and AIDS legal network, who described the decision not particularly helpful for people who had AIDS and HIV, and argued that it may have led to dominance impressions out there that people who have HIV and AIDS are pretty much being considered potential criminals. So he was very much against this. I put way too much highlighter here and I just seem to not be able to get it off. So he was like heavily criticizing this and was like, no, I don't think this guy should stand trial. I think this guy should be let go. Just because he has AIDS does not mean it was a crime, which I totally believe and I totally understand. Having AIDS is not a crime. Telling people, having unprotected sex with people and not disclosing that you do have this type of disease that is a life-threatening disease is a crime. You can't just go ahead and do that, right? Like it's a sticky thing. It's a sticky, I don't know, it's like, it's a very touchy case right now, this one, just because of the situation. But I do believe that if, this is my opinion and my opinion only, that if somebody is having unprotected sex with people and knowing that they have a life-threatening condition that they can pass on due to sexually transmitted disease, and they are not going to disclose this information, I do not think that is correct and should be criminally, they should be charged criminally for it. But that's just my opinion, okay? So, Johnson, I'm just going to do a nice casual, taking the dog for a walk type of look today. I saw this look online that was like super casual green, and I was thinking of doing it. But we all know what happened last time I decided to do that. It turned out a hot mess. So Johnson was not the first Canadian to ever be prosecuted for having unprotected sex and unknowingly exposing individuals to HIV. In an earlier case, Charles Sengyungan from London, Ontario, was prosecuted on a lesser charge of aggravated assault and criminal negligence causing bodily harm, but unfortunately he passed away due to complications of his disease that he had. So yeah, he's not the first one, but he's the first one to ever be convicted of such an indictable offense in Canada, where this guy was just like some lesser little charges. This guy was going for some indictable offenses. So it was different, right? Like it's a pretty big step in the criminal justice system, finally. So during this time, the Crown prosecutor stated that Johnson was going to be he was a liability to society just due to the fact of his high libido, which that's different. I didn't really know that could be a thing, but here we are, right? So he was saying how much of like a risk he is to the women in Canada due to the fact of his high libido and his little remorse. So they were kind of saying like they didn't know if he was going to go back out and commit the same offense again, or even try to like, so they didn't, how am I gonna word this? He had no remorse, so like honestly the chances of him going back out there and trying to have unprotected sex with another woman and potentially giving them the disease and causing her to have fatal and to die from this disease was high, because he didn't care. He just did not care. So during this time of the judge's decision, Johnson decided that he no longer wanted to be a Canadian citizen, and he told the judge that he would prefer it if he was able to go back to Kenya and serve his time in Kenya for these crimes, because he didn't want to do it in Canada, which I don't know about you guys, but I have watched that show, World's Worst Prisons, and I've seen Kenya prisons. And I would not want to be there. I would love to stay in Canada if I had the choice of prisons to go to between Canada and Kenya. Canada is amazing. I would love to be in Canada, but that's just me. I hope I never have that decision to make. I hope I don't have to choose between Kenya and Canada. But yeah, he decided to renounce his citizenship and wanted to live in Kenya for the remainder of his sentence. He was a father of 3. He was admitted to having unprotected, he had finally just admitted to having unprotected sex for 11 women without telling them they have HIV. And he did horrible things. During his trial, his girlfriend took the stand. And said that he never told her either that he had HIV. Oh my God, I keep knocking everything over. Not a good look. So his girlfriend took the stand and said that he never told her either that he had HIV, he had HIV status, and that he continued to have unprotected sex with her up into the day he was arrested. So that's how she kind of like, found out that he was doing this, which is like, come on, man. Like, even your girlfriend who like you trust and everything, you can't even like straight up tell her that you're HIV. I feel like being in a relationship, this is just me, you might not agree, you kind of have to like really tell your significant other, especially if you're expecting to spend the rest of your life with this person, everything that's going on in your life, right? Like you kind of really have to disclose these type of informations to them. But again, like I said, that's just me. I might not be everybody's cup of tea. So tea or coffee, if you know that reference, link it down below. So he didn't tell his girlfriend that he had HIV, and he was also having unprotected sex with her up until his arrest in 2003. Lawyers claimed that he did not, that there was no conclusion link between, that could be shown to indicate the deaths of his former girlfriends can be attributed to HIV. So I guess that his other girlfriends that he had in the past back in Kenya and Uganda also died of complications of health, but they didn't have the medical records or anything like that to show that the reasons why they died was due to HIV, so they could not convict him of those deaths due to the fact that there wasn't enough evidence and they couldn't sustain it. So because of all this, around, oh, I messed this look right up. That's not what I was planning on doing, but that's okay. So on April 4th, 2009, Johnson was found guilty, going to jail. So he was found guilty of 2 counts of murder in the first degree, 10 counts of aggravated assault, and 1 count of attempted aggravated assault by 9 men and 3 women on the Hamilton Supreme Court jury. Johnson was sentenced to life imprisonment with no possibility of parole after 15 years, the mandatory sentence in Canada for convicted first-degree murder. So in the first degree murder, Johnson was expressed that his intentions of that he was going to try to appeal this conviction because he didn't think that this was the right conviction for him. He didn't think that this was the right sentencing for him at the time. So Johnson was convicted of first degree murder due to the fact that he kind of had it premeditated. That's usually the difference between first degree, second degree, and manslaughter, is if it's meditated or not. And when I say that, I mean, was it thought out? Like, did he have a plan prior to doing this? Oh my God. Did he think that he was gonna, like, did he like set out a plan to do this? That's all premeditated really means. So in 2011, the Court of Hamilton brought his case towards a Crown prosecutor, and Johnson is still in jail at this time. And they decided to identify Johnson as a dangerous offender. So if he does ever get released from jail, he is always going to have that over his head due to the fact that he showed little remorse. He had this predetermined, he knew that he had HIV and he decided not to disclose that. So that technically in their eyes was premeditated. And even, he didn't even tell his girlfriend at the time, right? So, I don't know, you can take that with a grain of salt or whatever. So they decide to make him a dangerous offender. So no matter what, when he gets released from jail, he is going to be known forever as a dangerous offender. And he's going to have to carry that with him wherever he goes. So I'm going to throw in some lashes. I might put some eyeliner on. I know this is kind of like more of a basic look, but I'm not going too hard today, you know? Didn't feel like it. Long days, like I said in my last video. Long days, long hours. This is finally my day off today, so I decided to film a little bit. So I will definitely go put some lashes on and some maybe eyeliner, and I will come back with my final thoughts. She's back. I'm back, guys. All right, so I put my lashes on, put a little bit of eyeliner on. What do you think of the final look? I'm actually kind of into it. A little green action going on here. So let's give my final thoughts about this Johnson Aziga. Aziza. Boom. Put it here again. So yeah, he was a horrible person. I feel like he knew exactly what he was doing. He knew that he was having unprotected sex with these women. He knew that he was doing these things, potentially giving them a life-threatening disease that could ruin their life or kill them. And he didn't care. Like the Crown prosecutor and judge said, didn't matter what they said or did to him, he was just going to do it. Okay, my dog just decided to show up. Lay down, buddy. My final thoughts. He almost knocked over my lights and stuff again. So yeah, he did horrible things. He had no remorse of what he did. He knew what he was doing, and he was just a horrible person. He did it for a reason, and it was just to get, like they said, he had a high libido to get his rocks off, and that's why he did it. And he technically killed people. He didn't physically kill them with his hands, but it's like poisoning someone. You intended to kill them, you know, giving them poison over and over again. You're not technically strangling them or stabbing them to death, but you are slowly killing them. And that's exactly what he did here. He slowly killed these women over periods of times. And I don't know like exactly what happens when you get this disease, but I know it's painful and I know it's not fun. And it's probably scary for these women too, for getting this disease and for having a girlfriend. Not even like, they were together for quite a while, so he was cheating on her. We all knew that. He's a cheater. He cheated and he gave people diseases, and he probably killed more people back in Uganda and Kenya about the exact same thing, but they couldn't prove that in court, which is horrible. This guy was a bad guy. He's not the worst we've talked about, which is like kind of, I still think Clifford Olsen was the worst guy I ever talked about here on the channel. Let me know who you guys think so far is the worst person. I have my money on Clifford Olsen. That guy murdered and sexually assaulted children. Don't know how you can beat that. This guy didn't technically kill anyone with his hands. He just killed them sexually. So it was like, it's a different story. It's a different take. But I thought this one was really interesting just because he was the first one convicted of first degree murder. in Canada due to giving someone a sexually transmitted disease. I thought that was kind of cool. Let me know down below what you guys thought. I know this was a little bit of a shorter clip. It wasn't as long, but I'm thinking of doing Kala Kamoka and Paul Bernardo after this too, so let me know. I know those guys are big ones in Canada. There is another one. I think he is the trap killer up in the Yukon and in the Northwest Territories, way up there. And then there's also the Edmonton Dexter killer, who was pretty interesting. So there's a couple cases, and there's another guy in New Brunswick who was like, he did some horrible things, but I have been struggling finding information about this guy, which is like, that's what I find in Canada. I've been struggling to find information for, plus working the long hours. It's been crazy. So that's why I like to do little cases like this. So let me know down below if you guys have any other cases you guys want me to do. Like and subscribe to my channel. And I want to thank each and every one of you guys for coming out every single day and giving me the love and support. I know my mother-in-law has been watching every single day and sets up a little kind of comfy area and watches me, and it means the world to me. So I really want to thank each and every one of you guys for coming out, liking my channel, subscribing. I hit 83 subscribers, which is a lot to me. I know for most of you, you're like, that's not much. It is for me because I've been working really hard on these videos, and I hope you guys enjoy them, and I've been enjoying the looks and everything. So I just, again, thank you guys so much for coming onto my channel, embracing this, listening to me, and hearing the stories that I have about the Canadian justice system and the true crimes that have happened here in Canada. So again, if you can, like and subscribe, share this video, and I will see you guys next Tuesday for my next True Crime Tuesday. So I'll see you guys soon. All right, bye.